Hare Krishna to everyone. Is everyone doing good? All are ready to go for Dasra vacations outside? No? No? Okay. Okay, so let's start our session. So as you know, we will quickly try to recap the previous session, that is about what was the previous chapter? What was the previous chapter? It was about Karma Yoga in the following chapter. So it was transcendental knowledge, this class we are trying to discuss. But the thing is, the third chapter was Karma Yoga, wherein we try to cover, Tyaga. I mean, we have divided this 3 chapter into 4 lessons, whose acronym was TREE. TREE, that is Tyaga. And second one was Rungs on Yoga Ladder. And third one was Exemplary Karma Yogis. And fourth one was Enemy of the Soul. That's what we have discussed. So we which is better, whether it was renunciation or work? That's what Krishna was mentioning. We need to do our prescribed duty depending on our current status. If you are from you are a Kshatriya, then you have to perform the prescribed duty of a Kshatriya. And if you are a Brahmana, accordingly you need to do the prescribed duty of a Brahmana. So like that, it's not only about Varna. Even as an entity, we might be there in a family as a mother, daughter, father, husband. So we need to do all the prescribed duties of the relation what you are currently doing. Okay? So that's what he was stressing the point. And the same thing if you do as an offering to God, that's what Krishna was expecting. Rather than simply on a material plane working, for a naked eyes it might be appearing that two of them, a devotee and non-devotee, for a naked eyes it might be appearing the same. The action or the work, he might be doing the same, but the consciousness with which he is doing is more important. That's what Krishna is trying to raise a point, that same you do if it's an offering to me, you will get purified. You will get purified and again gain a knowledge, and it will lead to eventually at some point you need to renounce, but not artificially renounce it. Because without a proper purification and proper self-knowledge or jnana, if you are getting renounced, at some point or the other, surely Maya is going to attack. No doubt about it. It's only a matter of time. That's what Krishna, though sentimentally Arjuna was saying that I would be going to forest, I will beg if you require, but I don't want to kill and all. Even if he does that act, at some point or the other, he will be surely be showing his Kshatriya character there also. That's what we stressed out the point. So renouncing is something we should do with a proper consciousness, not with a improper understanding. That's what we were trying to stress in the Tyaga or renunciation of work. And next is Rungs on the Yoga Ladder, where we covered going back to sometimes people go back to God for sense gratification also. I think most of them are like that, to be frank. I mean, if you agree, most of them are like that, where you are nothing wrong. Even Krishna is saying nothing wrong for going to God even for sense gratification, but go through God only, rather than without keeping God in the center. But he is not guaranteeing that if you go to God only for sense gratification, then I will ensure that you are going back home, back to God. No, but it will be next at some point or the other. If you go to heavenly planets and there also you will suffer death and all, then at some point in your lifetime you will realize that this material enjoyment, there is nothing happening. So there is a possibility of getting a higher knowledge. So with that, it's a starting point. It's similar to in school, if a very dull student is there, then we will take a separate tuitions. And for a dull candidate, like who's getting only 25 or 30 marks in 100, you can't give a target of get 90. You are foolish. How come you are not getting? See, intelligent students like this, they are getting 90 and all. How stupid you are. We can't scold. So first we need to give smaller targets. If 25 marks is a failed mark, 35 is the passed mark. At least you get 35 Baba. Then at least you get 15 like. So we need to, similar to our class, how we do, the same thing Krishna is explaining how intelligently. See, if you carefully observe in our own society, you will see each and every person in all these categories. Atheist, Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Anyway, Ashtanga Yoga is very difficult to find out in our community, I mean society. Generally they try to get the yogic powers. So that's a very rarely we see across, but that's a ladder what we talk about. So Krishna has given for each and every person he has given a ladder, a next goal to achieve. So bhakti is the ultimate thing. So he was trying to say that eventually, after one step by step, you can go karma kanda, karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga, step by step. And there is a possibility directly you can go bhakti yoga also. That's what also he mentioned in the second lesson of the third chapter. So then bhakti is performed. Then he has taken an example of exemplary karma. Who are the exemplary karma yogis who has shown this? There might be so many people in and around us who will be, generally we have an opinion that the people who are having this kind of God consciousnesses are very ordinary, and the people who are staying in Himalayas, mountains, sages and all, they are extraordinary. That's the usual thinking process of the people who are in society. But being in the current society itself, you can be God consciousness, God conscious. That's the point. What Krishna was giving an example of Janaka in the exemplary karma yogis part, wherein though his heart was purified, and he was a karma yogi by act also. He was liberated by being in the king's position, but he still not renounced to show the society that we need to perform our duties and we can be untouchable with the outer world. So set an example. He has quoted an example of Janaka as an exemplary king or karma yogi. So, but still he worked as a king. So now next one was enemy of the soul. So enemy of the soul, what is the enemy of the soul? Enemy of the soul? జీవాత్మకు శత్రువు ఏమిటి? అహం. ఇంకా రాగద్వేషం. ఇంకా actually main point we need to hit is lust. Lust is the main point, because only due to lust only we have fallen into this material world. Basic point, foundation point, what we need to know is every one of us, including me, everyone is there in this material world only due to lust and envy towards Krishna, that he is only completely getting the attention there. He is only a center of attraction there. I don't have anything. You might see this nature in current society also, right? A big actor, a big politician would be there. His son would be envious. All the popularity my dad is getting, I am not getting any popularity. And they lead to different kind of thinking. No need of enough examples I need to quote, but we need to understand that enemy of the soul is lust. And he quoted like the greatest impurity of heart is lust, and we need to overcome that lust. How to overcome that lust? So, have you ever thought why lust is enemy? Our enemy? Why lust is our enemy? Any guesses? Why lust is our enemy? ఎప్పుడైనా ఆలోచించారా? Greed. Anger. Yeah, you Harish. Those are the results of the lust. That is, it is like a flow chart, decision box, rhombus box. Lust, yes. Greed, no. Anger. So that is the result of lust. But first of all, in first place, why lust is there? Why lust is coming? Why lust is coming?
Attachment towards things.
Huh?
Attachment towards things.
No, the lust is coming because we are trying to act independent of God. Lust is coming. You see, when we do any service to the Lord, there is no possibility of lust there. We try to always Hrishikena Hrishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Always we try to please the senses of the Lord, not pleasing our senses. Harish. Not pleasing our senses. Okay, so lust, in the first place, it comes only when we try to act independent of God, by keeping God away from our our choices. So then lust is usually expected to come. Now coming to fourth chapter, yeah.
Before we start,
Hmm.
fourth one,
Hmm.
in exemplary karma yogis,
Hmm.
are there any other examples apart from King Janaka?
Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj.
Arjuna
Yes.
is also counted.
Yes. Arjuna is also counted, and Parikshit Maharaj. Yes. Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. They are all karma yogis, Mataji. They, despite getting the darshan of Lord, they didn't renounce. They continued such that they will become examples for us. Being a grahastha, Dhruv Maharaj has his sons. He has his generation came forward. He, after getting the darshan of, though he was liberated, he never renounced. Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they ruled the kingdom for thousands of years. They are why they have shown that by being a grahastha also you can be renounced and liberated.
But we don't know much story of King Janaka,
Huh.
apart from hearing that he was a
Because,
but what exactly, I mean, the story he has how
because in our Doordarshan only Ramayana was focused only towards Rama and Sita, the romance between Rama and Sita and all it is shown. But Shastras explain that Janaka was one of the coolest crisis manager. Even in the crisis, now in the crisis school head means we remember Dhoni, right? Dhoni, even pressure situation also is very cool and all. We think about it. But in Shastras it is explained that Janaka in crisis also he always used to with cool head he used to think. And cool head, even I given an example last time. I don't know whether I given. Let me since you brought this topic. There was a fire taken place. He was attending some satsang. Janaka and his ministers were attending some class satsang from one of the sages. And a soldier came forward and informed Janaka saying that fire has broken and the fire is expanding the city and it is going across the city like that. He gives a news to Janaka. Then Janaka does the arrangement and gives the respective soldiers and ministers to tackle this way, that way. He tackles and he sits in satsang and he listens. But other ministers, they were going out of the satsang, taking care of their houses. My house would be burnt and all. They were running away, but he was silently sitting. So like this, it is mentioned in Shastra and even Ramayana, authentic Ramayana scriptures, it is given Mataji, Janaka. Though Janaka in our, because our only reference of Ramayana and Mahabharata is our Doordarshan, Mahabharata, Sunday 9 a.m. But to be frank, actual Mahabharata and Ramayana only you can say 5 to 10% of that Mahabharata, actual Mahabharata they have shown in B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata or Ramayana. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to chapter 4. Chapter 4 is about transcendental knowledge. Now transcendental knowledge, here again this fourth chapter we have again divided into 4 lessons. And the acronym for this chapter is years. E means eternal education. Okay, eternal education. Here now to curb this lust each and every individual has. How to overcome this lust? So we need to have a spiritual intelligence for curbing the lust. Spiritual intelligence. And the spiritual intelligence, from where do you get? Actually, Papan target cheyalandi, but I don't want to target her and make her inconvenient. Suma Mataji, which school did you study? Central. Kendriya Vidyalaya. Oh, I am also KV student. Okay, so KV it is a CBSE syllabus. Now, I will, if you are having kids, and I will ask you to join your kids in KPR syllabus. And in that KPR syllabus, I will give free AC. Fees only 1,000 per month. Yes, whatever CBSE they are teaching, I will also make them study the same CBSE syllabus in KPR syllabus, same format, same subject, same lessons would be there in KPR syllabus. So will you opt to CBSE syllabus, ICSE syllabus or KPR syllabus for your kids?
It depends. Depends on the information and data that I have. But yes, I have.
In the current situation.
I have an experience in CBSE, so I know it is good.
CBSE.
So,
But KPR you are having enough facilities, less fees, AC, buses with AC, doctor also there in the school. Everything, even from school to class also, class to canteen also they can go in auto, inside auto also will provide in the campus. This much facilities are there. Why can't you join KPR syllabus? By the way, KPR is my grandfather's name, Kandra Pichirande.
It's not tested and proven.
Proven, right? Yeah. The same thing. The eternal education also it is mentioned. For engineering college, how you do it, and engineering college. I remember my engineering. I in 1995 after my MSET, I was attending the their JNTU. There were the interview sessions where we need to decide which particular college. So finally, I got in Guntur RVR and JC college free seat. I got JNTU payment and all, but I could not opt. So we are having options. We analyze a lot, right? Which particular college we need to join and what kind of syllabus and all. So like that, for our own material education, we are thinking this much. How much we need to think about spiritual education, spiritual intelligence, right? So how people are not even monthly once paisa aa raha hai, gaadi hai, bangla hai, everything hai. Why spiritual education? That's the thinking. So we need to understand, for example, if your tooth is aching and the tooth has to be removed, and if you go to carpenter, thap, nikal diya, then what will that impression of that guy would be there? He would be thinking that all doctors are bad. Like that only he will think, right? If for removing a tooth, you need to go to dentist. He will properly give anesthesia and properly he will remove it. And if you go to carpenter and he will remove from that hammer, and he will decide that all the doctors are bad. Wrong, no? Going for a correct cure, it's good rather than going for a wrong path. So similarly, for this spiritual education, we should always choose a authorized path. Authorized path only we need to choose. So that's what Krishna is also mentioning. The saintly kings understood this imperishable science of Jnana Yoga through the chain of disciplinic successions. That is parampara, Guru Shishya parampara, disciplinic succession, originating from me, Lord Krishna. Okay, so first from Lord Krishna it came to Vivaswan, then Manu, then Ikshvaku. So evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo vidu sakalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa. That's what when Krishna gives an authorized path such that our future would be glorious. That's what he was pointing. So every planet has a preceding deity. What do you mean by preceding deity? Preceding deity, Telugulo varan cheppagalra what is preceding deity means? Something like, to give an example, the preceding deity of our home is your father, who is guarding the home. Similarly, the preceding deity of this country is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is guarding the country. So similarly, though Krishna is the supreme and the owner of everything, he has delegated someone to preside over certain portions of it. For example, Bhumata, like our earth. Earth preceding deities are Bhudevi and Sridevi. Bhudevi and Sridevi. They are in the chest of Lord Vishnu. Yeah. Chest of Lord Vishnu. एक मिनट Okay, I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so preceding deity I was saying. So preceding deity means someone who guards. Like despite Krishna saying, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I am the owner of the entire lokas. But despite that, he delegates. Similar to your organization, though CEO is the owner of the entire company, he delegates it to first COO, CFO, HR head and all. And from there, from COO, he gives it to delivery partners or BRMs who are there, vice presidents and all. And the delegation happens. Similarly, Krishna also delegates a couple of things to the respective demigods. So Bhudevi and Sridevi are the presiding deities of the Bhumandal, like the earth. Similarly, we have, what do we say? Soma. Soma is the preceding deity of moon. Soma is the preceding deity of moon. Why moon influences the mind? Do you know that? Moon influences the mind. Especially in the full moon. Have you seen in mental asylums? They become hyperactive. Why it is honeymoon? Why moon is tagged with honey? When a couple goes honeymoon, they say, because it is mind attraction and all. It is expected to tag with the moon, honeymoon. Soma is the preceding deity of a moon because it influences mind. Similarly, Suryadev, Vivaswan is Vivaswan is the preceding deity of sun, which influences our eyesight. It influences our eyesight. Without sun, we can't see our hand itself. Okay, we need to understand that. Now, so in this way, every preceding deity has an influence. So similarly, sun is having an influence. So indeed, we need to understand that this particular Vedic knowledge, indefeatable Vedic truths. First of all, everyone here, are you okay that Vedic information is always thinks about welfare of humanity? Yes or no? Is there any instances where Vedic scriptures are proving wrong for the humanity? Anything which they have said wrong? Yes or no? No. So we need to understand, like that, there are a lot of examples. Vedas state plants have life, but the plants have life was proved by Jagadish Chandra Bose probably 80 years back or 70 years back, if I am not wrong. But our Vedas have told much before. Similarly, embryo, description of human embryology in scriptures matches in modern day medical research. That was also recently came to know. But what exactly, phase by phase, from day one, how it happens, I showed the video on the very first session, what exactly it goes. So all this information was given in our Vedas. That's what we need to understand. So modern man is turning to yoga, meditation, Vastu Shastra and astronomy now. So all these things, there are 4 sampradayas. Everyone knows about it, right? I don't want to spend much time here. Everyone knows there are only 4 authentic disciplinic successions or sampradayas in the globe. These are the 4. Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya and Kumar Sampradaya. And they are the respective acharyas in this lineage. The 4 sampradayas in which Vedic wisdom has been carefully handed over through a chain of acharyas or spiritual teachers till date. And do you know ISKCON comes under which sampradaya? ISKCON comes under which sampradaya? Yeah, okay, yeah. It is a Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Madhvacharya is the Acharya, famous Acharya in the lineage. So Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, they say. ISKCON comes under this. And what about the temple built in our Vihanga? Which Sampradaya does it belong to? Sri Sampradaya, you are right. Okay. Now, Srila Prabhupada, it's a, our teachings are authoritative, pure and safe to accept because they are based on the works of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, coming in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. We need to understand, it is something to the knowledge which is coming in Parampara is compared to the bulb. This bulb, from where exactly the connection is coming? What is the next? From where? From where this light is, electricity is coming? Any guesses? ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది ఈ లైట్? వాట్స్ గుడ్ నేమ్? పాప. ఆ పాప. What's her name? Yashasvi. Which class she is in? 3 class. Okay. Do you know from where this electricity is coming? Yashasvi? Guess, no problem. From where it is coming? From the upper cloud? Okay, good. So yes, it is coming from, there would be some meter down there in this room. From that meter, again from that meter the current is coming from main, one transformer would be there for your Vihanga community, and from that, for that transfer it is coming from main power station. So like that, as it is coming from the main power station, the knowledge in Sampradaya is also coming from all these 4 major, Brahma, Lakshmi, Lord Shiva and Kumaras. We need to understand that, okay? So now the lineage, the lineage of transcendental knowledge. This lineage of transcendental knowledge, Srila Prabhupada says, there are only 2 types of people in this world. One is devotees and other is demons. What is the definition of demon? Definition of demon. Does demon have two horns? Actually, in childhood I used to think demon word means always they have big teeth and big horns. Those are demons. But lately I came to know without teeth and demons also, without teeth and horns also, a person can be demon. Okay, so we need to understand that there are only two kinds of people, that is devotees and demons. And even both, like devotees and demons also can interpret Bhagavad-Gita in their own way. Do you accept? Devotees and demons, both of them can interpret. I have seen personally, lot of people, Krishnude Rajkiyam aadadra, manam Rajkiyam aadam tappem ledu. We can play politics. Krishna himself has a lot of wives. What is it? We can also have, we can also do this. I have seen people like that. But we need to understand that, the lineage or so benefit of, BG or, Bhagavad Gita can be experienced only by a devotee or a friend. Even Krishna also confirms the same thing. Bhaktosmi sakha cheti. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam etat uttamam. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Bhaktosi me sakha. So only a friend and a devotee can understand such a wonderful secret. Rahasyam, Gita is called a Rahasyam, wherein even if you keep in front of non-devotees, they will not understand. They can interpret lot of things, they will not understand. But unless you are a devotee or a friend of a Lord, you will not understand. That's what even Krishna himself is saying. Because if you keep in front of non-devotee with his PhD knowledge also, I have seen people who are PhDs. They say, నేను 30 to 40 times భగవద్గీత చదివానండి, మొత్తం వచ్చండి. If he really knows Bhagavad Gita, he will not say that మాకు మొత్తం వచ్చు. No, not even the greatest of the acharyas in the current 4 sampradayas also, they will not say that I understand Bhagavad Gita completely. No, nobody will say that. But only with that consciousness, when you try to understand, Krishna will give the knowledge from within. He will help you. If you are serious, he will help you. That is the knowledge. That is the kind of knowledge. Okay? So, Arjuna's question, atheistic people. So, demon, is a person who wants to write his own book. Even, there are people who will write. You might be seeing lot of Bhagavad Gita from different people. Have you seen? There are a lot of people who have written. When Nityananda Swami, I don't know whether you have come across the same person who got into scams and all with heroin. He also wrote Gita in his own version. And finally, they put a cover of Bhagavad Gita. So the books have to, for even gaining that popularity also, they are leveraging Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. They will put their own philosophy and outer cover they will keep it as Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. Because without Krishna's this thing, it will not sell, no. Hare Krishna, Guru, Hare Krishna. Okay, so we need to understand that, and they will be keeping their own speculative knowledge. And if you are a guru in Sampradaya, Guru will teach you how to worship the Lord, how to pay obeisances to the Lord, how to understand this knowledge. Because there are so many other Bhagavad Gitas where they give a shloka, they give a translation, that's it. But they will not say how to understand this meaning also. They will not tell how to understand this meaning also. So we need to be careful, So that's what Arjuna and Krishna is trying to say. Because you are my devotee and friend, then only you will try to you can make an attempt to understand. That's what he was saying. And in this chapter 4 of the first lesson, what I told, eternal knowledge is the first lesson in this chapter, which is a little lengthy, but we will try to understand. So demoniac gurus, they say exactly to not, there is no need for surrender. Demons, they will try to always propagate that there is no need to surrender to the Krishna, and you can understand because he is impersonal, so there is no need to surrender. Lot of gurus you can find out, and they will be having lakhs and millions of followers also. I don't want to quote any fake gurus. There are so many fake gurus, but I just want to take an example. One example. In Punjab, one guru was there. And you believe me, 10 to 15 years, he has gained his disciples, gained lot of disciples. And after 15 years, he came to scam, murders, involved in a lot of murders, and later he was put into jail. Now think about the disciples who were there for that fake guru in the 10 to 15 years, who have believed him kith and kin, and they have left their bodies with a consciousness that my guru is my God. Do you think what's going to happen? I mean, the disciples who are taking a shelter of fake gurus, have you ever imagined what is going to be their karma in future lives? Any guesses? First of all, fake guru who is teaching, keeping God aside, he will, one example or one karma, you can say, he will be born as a big snake, and the big snake would be killed by ants. Have you ever heard about it? Snake killed by ants? చలి చీమలతో చంపబడుతుందంట పాము. So a పాము is nothing but fake guru, and చీమలు are nothing but those disciples who are following him. Because he is not delivering himself, and he is misguiding the normal populace and making them away from God further. That's not a normal punishment. We need to understand. So we need to, yeah.
How does a devotee who is very genuine understand or realize that it's the fake or unless they are caught?
First of all, whenever you are sitting in that kind of assembly, you can openly ask which sampradaya you belong to. Ask openly. How many? There are so many apasampradaya people are there. If we ask this kind of question, no, their disciples will come and they will take this guy away. I don't know whether you will try once. If someone is giving a mundu adagasan prashna, nu ye sampradayam chemtaru.
That is one.
Yes.
Once in sampradaya also it may be.
In sampradaya
Also there may be such incidents.
Mataji, try to understand. For example, I am sitting here, right? I am sitting here. There are so many devotees are there. There is a possibility, like me, I might sit and take the same thing. I can take the shelter of Bhagavadgita, Krishna, and I can propagate my own nonsense. I can own my nonsense. Okay? There are devotees who know, and if something is deviated, my particular feedback will be given to my Shiksha Guru, who is rightly in front of your own, my home Vihanga, my home Krishi, he stays. Leela Prabhu. If he knows, then Mahesh Prabhu, thank you very much. I think you need to purify yourself much. Please don't give any sessions. And it will be going to even temple also. Don't think that mechanism is not there in Bhajan. Especially in Sampradaya, that mechanism is there, where there is every possibility that they will ensure that he is not facing the crowd or anything wrong. It's not only a bad name for that guy, complete Sampradaya would be blamed. Complete Sampradaya, even whatever this recording I am posting, I am putting it in YouTube. Don't you think if something is gone, my Leela Prabhu or my Radhesham Prabhuji or my Sky Maharaj, they might see and they might say and they might give a pass on the feedback accordingly, immediately I will be taken out. Okay, yeah. So that the parampara we should believe, Sampradaya only we should believe. That's what the point Krishna was trying to make it clear. Now coming to the divine nature and the lineage of transcendental knowledge. Now coming to the so there are the demoniac, there are a number of editions. The same thing. The point what I was trying to convey. The demonic, however, don't accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. That's what Krishna is also saying in Bhagavad Gita 4.3. That don't go to misleading paramparas. Go to a authorized parampara, disciplinic succession only. There are only 4. Okay. Now understanding the divine nature of, now this is a chapter wherein Prabhuji just remind me 11:45. Okay, the clock is not there. Okay. So in this chapter, in this lesson, Krishna is trying to tell his uniqueness. Why you should hear to Krishna? There is a possibility someone might ask Lavanya Mataji that what are you working, Mataji? Then she might say, I'm working as a service delivery manager. No, she telling I'm working as a service delivery manager. Is it wrong? There might be people who might be thinking, how much she is proud of. She's telling that she is delivery manager. You are asking Baba, you are telling. What is there to proud? You are, who am I? You are asking. I am telling I am delivery manager. Is there anything wrong? If without someone asking, I am a delivery manager. There are some 200 associates reporting unto me. There are some 16 to 20 leads reporting unto me. See how great I am. If I, without asking, if you are saying them something, then it is pride. But if someone is asking who are you, and if you are giving your identity, how it is a proud thing, right? So Krishna here explains about his uniqueness, that I am not a normal. You can't compare me with a human being. I am God. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. I am God. No other God or demigod has mentioned that I am God. Jesus Christ says, I am the son of a God. Muhammad says, I am a messenger of a God. Lord Shiva says, Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu Swayam, Vishnu Param. He himself said, I do worship of Lord Vishnu. And Krishna says, I am God. Aham sarvasva prabhu. I am God. No other God has told that I am God. Okay, so his uniqueness he tries to establish, and this knowledge, he told that Krishna says Arjuna that this knowledge I am not giving it to you Arjuna for the first time. I have given this knowledge to Vivaswan millions of years ago. Then how Krishna, you are telling that you have given this knowledge millions of years ago, but you are my contemporary, right? How it is possible? How it is possible, he says. Then for that he explains, Arjuna, many births we have taken. You have taken, I have taken. And I in different avatars, I have taken. But believe me, all the births of mine and all the births of you all, I remember. I remember, but you don't remember. You will not be able to remember. If you are fortunate enough, you might be remembering 2 or 3 previous lives. So Krishna is saying the same thing, that don't compare me with you. Despite you have taken multiple lives, and I have taken, but I have come to this nature or this Prithvi with my own sweet will. Right? You are getting the point? CEO, for example, he has a lot of branches in different cities. For example, TCS, there are multiple branches in Hyderabad itself, and TCS there are multiple branches in different cities. CEO can go to any branch at his own sweet will. Can anyone force him? Okay, CEO, please come at this time on this date. No, right? It is his own sweet will. He can go and come at any time, his own sweet will. So similarly, Krishna is also trying to say that, all this, jivas might be changing the bodies and they might not be knowing the previous birth, but I am not like that. I know the complete life history of all the jivas and myself. That's what he was trying to insist, those who are devotees, they will not forget the Lord at all. But the non-devotees, there is a possibility. Sometimes they forget, sometimes they will not. Sometimes they flicker, sometimes they will not believe at all. That's a different case. But the point he is trying to convey is, I am the God. That's the point he is trying to insist here. Now, the uniqueness of Krishna's appearance, he was even trying to say, I am an imperishable, but Jiva is perishable as body after life after life, and he is the master of all living beings. But no Jiva can say that I am the master. Ardhamavutunda? He is saying that I am the master of all living beings, but the same can't be quoted by any Jiva. Right? So that is the uniqueness of Krishna, wherein he established his own unique position in this chapter, and he says, Prakritim Swayam Adhishtaya. So he comes to this Prakriti with his own sweet will. Here it says, right, Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya means he comes with his own sweet will. No one forces him. That's the point he tries to convey. Now, there is a possibility PM comes to a jail. Prime Minister is coming to a jail to see the inmates or the criminals there in the jail and trying to inspire them, and if you are behaving properly, within 3 months you can go out of the jail. Prime Minister can say that. Prime Minister visits. Now in this case there is a possibility of two fools. One fool is, President is coming to jail and he is staying with us. So he is President, I am also President. That is one kind of fool. President himself has come to this President himself has come to the jail and he is staying with me for some time. So I am also President. What is wrong in it? That is one kind of fool. And other kind of fool. President is coming to jail and he is also staying with us. So I am thief, he is also thief. It is something God has come here, no? God is also staying with us. So he is God, I am also God. So, seriously, there are some people, not people, there are some fake gurus who propagate this. Nenu Devude, Nuvu Devude, Manandram Devudame. And movies also, they sometimes propagate like that. How beautifully they propagate, no? Even any kind of thing, even having an illicit relationship with a man or a woman, they hero. There are so many movies which are come, right? Having an illicit relationship also, how glorifyingly they will put it in the climax. It will show that hero has done the right thing. There are so many movies which are come like that. Now these days, movies are blockbusters only. Rowdy background only. They are becoming blockbusters. Pushpa, KGF, all these things they propagate. They will not tell Bhaktudavara. They will not take movies. Only how. Thing, finally he will win, and Rowdy doing negative things he will win. వాళ్ళ అమ్మ పొరపాటున కలెక్టర్ అవ్వాలంటే ఎంత బాగుంటుంది, కథ భలే ఉండేదే. ఏదో బంగారం సంపాదించమన్నాడంట, ఈయన బంగారం ఇచ్చేస్తున్నాడంట. The thing is, we need to understand, we can't compare. So these are the kind of foolishness what we are talking about. So these are the two fools what we are talking about, and so we can't compare the Lord with a normal human being. Now, one small incident, one person was going and he was listening. I will eat tiger. I will eat elephant. I will eat lion. Like that, some comments he was hearing from when he was passing by one room. He thought some Rakshasas are staying in this room or what? That they are eating tiger, they are eating lion, and they are eating lion and elephant. Then when he went inside, he saw that kids were fighting for eating tiger biscuit. Biscuit name is tiger, lion and elephant. So tiger biscuit, lion biscuit and elephant biscuit he was eating. But the thing is, we need to understand that despite the brand of each biscuit is different, tiger, lion and elephant, but the content of the biscuit is same, right? Atta. Flour only, no? తెలుగులో ఏమంటారు, గోధుమ పిండి ఏమంటారు, బిస్కెట్లు దేంతో చేస్తారు మాతాజీ? మైదా సారీ మైదా. సో మైదాతో చేస్తారు, కంటెంట్ ఇస్ సేమ్. సిమిలర్లీ లార్డ్ మైట్ బి కమింగ్ ఇన్ డిఫరెంట్ incarnations or different avatars, but the content is same. What is that content? Sat Chit Ananda. మైదాతో డిఫరెంట్ బిస్కెట్స్ ఎలా చేస్తామో, ద లాట్స్ డిఫరెంట్ ఇన్కార్నేషన్స్ ఆర్ మేడ్ త్రూ సత్ చిత్ ఆనంద ఆర్ ద ఇంగ్రీడియంట్స్. సో ఇట్ మైట్ బి కమింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ అవతారాస్, కూర్మ అవతార్, వరా అవతార్, రామ అవతార్, లక్ష్మీ నరసింహస్వామి అవతార్, అండ్ ఆల్. యూ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ దే ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సేమ్ సోర్స్, Krishna. Okay. So these are the different kinds of foods what we are talking about, and the same thing. They are made of Satchidananda. And why is it necessary? Why is it necessary for Krishna? Why is it necessary for Krishna to personally appear? So this is the spiritual beauty and material beauty we are talking about. Any reflections of a, we are trying to show spiritual beauty and material beauty. So divine nature of Lord Krishna. So time of Krishna's appearance, here we are talking about the famous verse everyone might be knowing. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam dharmasya tadatmanyam srujanyam. So here glanir bhavati dharmasya glani is a word to catch. Dharmasya glani. So one meaning of dharmasya glani is that when the people will be more materialistic, and they forget the goal of life. How many of you remember the goal of life? What is the goal of life? What is the goal of life? What's the name probably? Yes. Yashasvi. Ni goal and life lo? What's the goal of life? To become scientist. Very good. Nice. Goal of life. Teaching? Wonderful. Nice profession. Good. Yeah. Anyone else? What is the goal of life? Yeah. To return to the Supreme God. To return, or we can say, going back home, back to Godhead. Yeah, return is right. Okay, so that is so Krishna is saying the first one meaning of understanding dharmasya glani is when the materialism in this world increases and the people forget the goal of life. That is the first understanding of how when he comes. And another meaning of dharmasya glani is when the asuric powers increase. When the asuric powers increase and Devata's power decrease, then only the demoniac culture there is a possibility to increase. And it is not a mere statement, Prabhuji and Mataji. If you see the countries like Pakistan, the environment has become like that. I think no one would be interested to go to that location, right? When the demoniac culture or demoniac people increase, automatically that nature and environment also become like that. My kid, my elder one, డాడీ టూరిజంకి ఎక్కడైనా ఏదో ఒకటి మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరూ ఈజిప్ట్ వెళ్తున్నారు, ఇక్కడికి వెళ్తున్నారు, అక్కడికి వెళ్తున్నారు. షీ వుడ్ బి కోడింగ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ లైక్ దట్ my friends are going to Egypt, my friends are going to Japan, you are not taking me anywhere. Like that she always complains. So I took her to Stockholm and for 3 days we spent in Paris. Like that I was saying. Then I asked, so you want to go to foreign only, right? Okay, foreign is okay, ready, I will go. Then you go to Pakistan, I will take her. Then no, not Pakistan, she was saying. Any other country is fine, but not Pakistan. So the point we need to understand here is, Prabhuji and Mataji, is that when Krishna appears, first example is that one what I said, when the materialism increases and the people forget the goal of life. Second one is when the asuric powers become more and the Devata's power become less, there is a possibility that to establish dharma or to become establish dharma, he comes. So the same thing was discussed even in the last session, where we said that Lord provides us lot of things around us, like sun, moon, vegetables, and eat healthy and maintain your body healthy to realize the goal and go back home, back to Godhead. For that, how many of them are realizing that first of all in the first place? 90%, 95% of people don't even realize that everything is provided for us. He has facilitated for us to know Him and go back home, back to Godhead. No. How many of you have seen Big Boss serial? Ever chudleda? Very good. Okay, Big Boss. Okay. So Big Boss, I think they stay there for around 4 or 5 months, I believe. And after staying for 4 or 5 months, చక్కగా మంచి స్విమ్మింగ్ పూల్ ఉంది, నైస్ కిచెన్ ఇస్ దేర్, వండర్ఫుల్, ఏ కుచ్ కామ్ నహీ హై, ఏం పని చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, వెరీ నైస్ కౌచ్, నౌ నైస్ టీవీ, everyone is there, no work, nothing, we need to simply spend time. So happily going for 4 to 5 months. But after 5 months is over, no, I will stay here only. If you say that, will they hear? No, right? Elimination happens every month, I think every week or every 2 weeks elimination happens. No, I don't want to get eliminated, I will stay here only, please. Will they hear? No, right? Similarly, we need to understand that this is a hospital, not a hotel. We need to cure ourselves and go back. That is the situation we need to understand. That's what the point Krishna was trying to highlight in our previous chapter in the Karma Yoga. So people eventually, after knowing him and after they need to perform the Nishkama Karma and gain the knowledge and get self-realized and go. అన్నీ ఆస్తులు, నా కొడుకు ఇది, నా కొడుకు అది. We need to understand all this stuff and try to plan our life accordingly. So demons, they go against this and create a disorder and usurp the properties and disturb the devatas and lot of disturbance they create in the society. So at that time also Krishna comes, and Krishna even mentions, Vedic culture. Vedic culture means A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What is A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Yashasvi? A for? B for? C for? D for? E for? F for? Fish. G for? Grass. Okay. Now that's Yashasvi definition. Now in the Vedic culture, A, B, C, D, E, F, G means, A means absolute truth. Absolute truth. Knowing the absolute truth. B means Brahmanas. Brahmanas means who propagate the Brahmagyan to the normal populace. B means Brahmanas. C means cow protection. Can you believe all this used to exist in our previous generations? C means cow protection. And D means devatas. Like paying gratitude for the devatas to providing rains, for providing good harvest, for giving our parents, for giving sunlight, for giving moonlight, showing gratitude to the devatas. D means devatas. E means etiquettes. How to behave with senior, how to behave with junior, how to behave with peers. There used to be మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా 3 generations బ్యాక్, మీ నానమ్మ తాతయ్య వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఆ రిలేషన్స్ ఎలా, నాన్నగారు, అన్నయ్య గారు, they used to add garu, the kind of respect what they used to show. Now these days it has become a fashion to call their parents dad. They call them, even our heroes are showing like that. If your dad name is Mahesh or Srina, Yera Sinu, I know one person whose kid calls him his dad with his name. It looks very cool, that's a cool they show in the movies. మీ అమ్మని ఏమని పిలుస్తావు? నిన్నే మీ అమ్మని ఏమని పిలుస్తావు? మమ్మీ. I was expecting she will tell Lamanya. Okay, so that has become the culture. So E means etiquette. F means falling at the lotus feet of the Lord when any problem occurs. Now the insurance policies and all have come now. LIC insurance, this insurance, that insurance. I don't know when all it has started. Insurance companies, probably 50 years back, right? At that time, what was the insurance policy? Rake Krishna mare Krishna rake koi. What is the meaning of it? Hindi lo cheppanu. Means Krishnudu taluchukunte, if Krishna has to save it, nobody can even disturb him. If Krishna wanted to save someone, nobody, in whatever effort you can make, he can't kill. Prahlad example. Father tried to torture him, but never. But if Krishna wants to kill anyone, no one can stop him. That was the insurance policy in our Vedic culture. Clear? What is G means? G means? God consciousness, or trying to be in mode of goodness. Sattva gunamlo undadam. How many gunas are there? 3 gunas. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So people used to be in mode of goodness. Okay, so these are the A, B, C, D, E, F, G of Vedic culture, and whenever there is a disturbance for this Vedic culture, then Krishna appears. There is no need for Krishna to appear. Actually, his own devotees can take care. That's what actually next Arjuna asks, So if disturbance of this, I am your devotee, and myself and your devotees can establish dharma. What inspires you to come into this dangerous or hostile material world? That's what Arjuna asks. There is no need for Lord himself to descend. Okay, sometimes even his devotees himself can take care of the proceedings here. But then Arjuna asks, I myself a devotee of you can take care, or your devotees can take care, Krishna. Why you are coming? You are already a busy person. Why you need to come? He asks. What's his response? What's his response? Any idea? Is it not like without only he has to come and do it? Can't his devotee do it? They can do it. But why he has to come? Any guesses? For guessing, there is no punishment here. Krishna, what are the problems, cases you have mentioned? Even your devotees can handle it, right? Why you need to come to this very material world? Because devotees long for me. Devotees long for me. It is, I don't know if I can compare this with this one or not. When our favorite hero comes in auto wala dress or coolie dress, everyone put whistles, right? First day, first leg appear, then slowly camera rolls down like this and comes to face, then full whistles and paper phad ke upar dalne ka, everything happens, right? So when people see hero in different avatars, they feel very anxious and exciting, right? Similarly, devotees long for him, and whatever the pastimes he do, devotees cherish. Sometimes we become nostalgic, right? Sometimes when we thinking about our childhood memories, we feel nostalgic, right? So when pastimes, when Krishna performs pastimes, come here and performs pastimes, devotees cherish. Imagine Krishna as a child getting beaten up with his mother, and he is seriously crying, God crying. Can you imagine? Yashasvi, you are hiding behind your dad. Afraid of questions. So think about God escaping from his mom of her beatings, and seriously crying. Seriously, he literally cried. He has Damodar Leela. He was tied up with a rope and he was beaten. He performs, actually acharyas, they get tears when they explain the leelas of it. He comes to fulfill the desires of devotees, because devotees long for him. Okay, so these are the various reasons why he comes to this land or this nature to perform pastimes. And Krishna vachadante vishayam entante, for one simple reason he won't come. Multitasking. Oka dabbado asuras kill అయిపోవాలి, ఒక దెబ్బతో devotee satisfy అవ్వదు, అన్ని multitasking. For each and every task he does, there is a literally meaning. Do you know? You remember, Krishna, he promised that he will never lift a weapon in the Mahabharata Yuddha. Everyone knows, right? But Arjuna was still, after hearing all the Bhagavadgita, he was still really hesitant. Then he takes the wheel and go to kill Bhishma. You know the scene, right? Yeah. Then Arjuna stops him, and it is said in Shastras that when he tries to stop, he drags Arjuna for almost half kilometer or so. And at that time, from his waist, Krishna's waist, that one cloth falls. Acharyas explain that there is a reason for that, a cloth also falling on the ground. That indirectly the meaning says that Bhudevi is little afraid, because Bhishma, who is a devotee of the Lord, Bhishma is a devotee of the Lord and Lord himself, and both are fighting. You might be hearing a loving exchanges between devotees, but what is this? Lord is going to kill a devotee. Then Krishna is, by putting the cloth on the earth, he is indirectly saying, don't worry, we are in good hands, and it is a leela and performing that people can cherish. And even, have you seen Bhishma? He was happily standing. He was not in an angry mood. He was happily standing, because he was cherishing that I would be allowed to be killed from God. Okay? Yeah. So we need to understand, each and every Leela what he performs, there is a reason for it. So the next question what he asks is, you perform so many pastimes in your descent, what do you expect from the human entities, our living beings? He has performed these many living entities. He is satisfying devotees with his pastimes, and longing he is removing. So what are you expecting from the devotees? What are you expecting from the living entities? That's what Arjuna asks. But for that he says, he is not first of all he is trying to place his position that he is not a normal person. How many of you seen a child taking birth with complete ornaments? No, right? No. How many of you seen on the very first day he is smiling and happy first day of the birth? No, right? But one of the topic, my elder one, when she has taken birth on the immediately after the birth, she didn't cry. She was seeing the light. She's the I know only her who has not cried after the birth. But the thing is, we need to understand Krishna is not an ordinary being, and he is trying to make that very clear with Arjuna and for all of us that I am not an ordinary person. He has shown a 400 form on the very first day to his parents. On the very first day, he told his parents about their past 2 lives. About their past 2 lives, he told. That's the speciality of him. And so we need to understand that Krishna's birth is not ordinary. I hope there is no doubts on this. Right? Everyone with me? Right. So the next one is, those who know me, remember me at the time of death, and they will not come back again to this material world. Those who know, because once you know him, know his nature and his pastimes and his qualities, and always mind is in that juncture, there is a possibility that you can remember him at the time of death also. And he is promising that if you remember me at the time of death, there will be no rebirth for you. And remembering him at the time of death is not an easy task. There are some I was taking one session to a couple of bachelors in ISKCON habits. So one college boy was saying, what is there, sir? I will have a pistol ready and I will say, Krishna, thap. Krishna, thap. So Krishna is, he's a cheater of the cheaters. No one can cheatify Krishna. Okay, so that's what Krishna is also promising, Krishna's able devotees can rectify the destruction of dharma and the rise of dharma. Why is it necessary for Krishna to personally appear? I already told that. Because Krishna performs feats which are very difficult for others to do. Purpose of Krishna's appearance here. So that's what he was trying to reiterate the same point that, at the time of death, it's better to know his pastimes, qualities and nature of Krishna in detail such that you will be in a position to remember him. How many of us remember when while doing job, Krishna, with that consciousness, Krishna, what are the moment? Because I have personally seen devotees, Mataji, and Prabhuji, where even while doing job, they remember Krishna continuously. Of course, when the discussion is happening, they talk with clients and how they do it, but they are empty. Even when they are working, they do japa. It's not that literally they spill out, but that chanting will be happening in the mind. Of course, without impacting the work. Okay. So, but do all people know? But do all people believe in what you just said now? Now Arjuna asks is, do all people know? Do all people know whatever you said is right? Whatever you said. Then Krishna says, all the people are busy with materialistic attachments, material desires. That's what he insists. And talks about knowers of Krishna love Krishna. But those who don't know, who are very much attached to the material desires, again, they result of properly knowing Krishna's appearance, they give up. So if they know this Krishna's appearance or Krishna's nature, Krishna's birth, Krishna's pastimes, all are great and extraordinary, then they will leave all this, what I said. When Krishna was saying the same, they are too attached to the material enjoyment, and despite Krishna coming and performing all these pastimes, they are still attached to the material desires. Don't you feel he is referring to us? Don't you feel he is referring to us? Still we are attached to the material desires. And one point, each and every point he is trying to highlight here, where he is talking about raga, attachment. Money is honey. Right? Actually, my mom was yesterday telling me. My mom with a concern over me. She was saying, money లేకుండా జీవితంలో ఏం లేదురా, నువ్వు భక్తి చేయాలని నీకు మనీ కావాలరా, like that. Well, I don't want to blame her because they have come from an utter poverty. My dad and my mom, of course, with the Krishna willing, Krishna's mercy, my dad has come from a situation where in his school days he was hardly having 2 pairs of knicker and shirt. So with that kind of a background he has come. And he has risen to a stature of a deputy superintendent of police. He is a retired superintendent of police. So my mom, from that background she has come, and she tells me with a concern, నీకు ఆడపిల్ల ఉందిరా, పెళ్లి చేయాలిరా, డబ్బులు సంపాదించుకోరా, భక్తుడితో చేసుకుంటే నీకు సరిపోదు, భక్తి చేయాలన్నా డబ్బులు కావాలి. Like with a concern over that she tells me. And ముందు సరే, I will say, I don't argue with her. Sarema, like that I will tell her. But we need to understand, the concern, money is not only honey. So that's what the attachment is talking about. So result of properly knowing Krishna consciousness, they will eventually, we need to get away from the attachment of material desires. If not now, immediately, slowly we need to build that consciousness. At some point we need to renounce with a proper understanding. Next one is bhaya. So fear of spiritual identity. So there are some jnanis, they want peace by seeing lot of disturbance around us, lot of fights around us. They want only peace, and they want to stay in Brahma Jyoti. I stay peacefully in Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti, right? It is emanating Brahma Jyoti, effulgence from the Lord. That is Brahma Jyoti. So especially the couple who fight a lot, husband and wife, they fight a lot. And suddenly, if they are after fighting a lot, they will stay in 2 rooms. And how long they can stay in 2 separate rooms? At one point, they will get boredom of that peace also. So it's something like that. So they are talking about bhaya, fear of spiritual identity. But devotees, they are clear about their identity. They are dasanu das of the Lord. With that understanding, they will be there. They are not like our material thing, basanu boss. No. Okay, I am a delivery manager. There are around 150 to 160 associates, they report to me. So I can't say that I am the boss. I am the boss, we can't say. So we should have a consciousness of dasanu. So that spiritual identity, they are very clear, especially for the devotees. Okay, next one is krodha. Krodha is, conception of void from frustration. So Krishna requested there are some people who think that, one Mataji in Vihanga only, she argued with me. I don't like Krishna అండి, అంతటి కర్ణుడిని వెనకాల నుంచి చంపటం ఏంటి, ఎంత అన్యాయం చేశాడు, అలా చంపొచ్చు ఎవరైనా, ఎంత తప్పది అని. That's why I don't like Krishna. She was saying, no problem Mataji, if you wanted to really understand about it, I have to take 1 to 2 hours of class for you. When you have time, let me know. So they don't have proper understanding. Arjuna and Ekalavya, our schools, CBSE and ICSE syllabus teach that Ekalavya is great, Arjuna is a villain, Arjuna is jealous of Ekalavya. That's the reason why he complained to Dronacharya and he took the thumb of it. That's what our CBSE and ICSE syllabus show. But have you made any attempt to know what exactly is mentioned as per the Shastras? Why it has been done? No, people are ready to blame. One Mataji I had discussed. She was saying, talking bad about the Channelere Swamiji. That he took money and gave blessings. She has seen something and she was talking bad about Channelere Swamiji. What do you know? For a matter of 2 to 5 minutes you are seeing what exactly you know about him. That's why I don't like him. Mataji, తెలియకుండా ఎందుకు ఇలా మాట్లాడతారు? Have you even made an attempt to know what exactly has happened in the background? The people are ready to throw stones without even knowing something. Okay. So that's what Krishna was talking about, and Arjuna asked these people who don't understand you, these people have faith in me, and Krishna talks about the people who have faith in me and my pastimes and my appearance. He says that they will come to me and come to me to the spiritual world. That's what he says. And those who don't believe, some people are there who believe that Krishna is not God. He is also our fresh flower, like us only. He is also in flesh and blood. Like that they believe. They again take rebirth with the same flesh and blood, and life after life they will be taking births. That's what Krishna is assuring. And there are some gnanis, you know. 11:45. Okay, fine, Prabhu. Thank you for reminding. నాకు చెక్ కావాలి, నేను ఉత్సవంలో వెళ్ళిపోతూ ఉంటాం మేము, నాకు టైం తెలిస్తే నాకు గ్రేట్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ అబౌట్ ద పీపుల్ ఐ మేక్ దెమ్. సో అలానే దేర్ ఆర్ సమ్ జ్ఞానీస్. సి ప్రభుజీస్, బీయింగ్ ఇన్ జ్ఞాన యోగా is nothing wrong. Being Gnanis is nothing wrong. But being Gnanis with correct understanding and becoming a devotee of the Lord, that's what Lord likes actually. Krishna likes the devotees who are gaining gnana and surrendering it to the Lord. Then he likes. That's the most liked devotees are those people who are in gnana yoga and surrendering to the Lord. But there are some gnanis who gain the knowledge and try to believe that only effulgence of the Lord or the Brahman is the only ultimate, and God is impersonal. There are some gnanis who believes that God is impersonal. That's what he doesn't like. Am I clear, or have I confused you? Okay. Next lesson is about accurate understanding. Ears. Next lesson is ears. A means accurate understanding. Accurate understanding of what? Accurate understanding of, do all paths not lead to the same goal? Why is there worship of so many gods? Is caste system not exploitative? That's what the understanding we need to have. So we need to understand that Krishna is the creator and culmination of all paths. So there are people, who Krishna's dedicated devotees consider his birth and activities to be divine and eternal. But others who approach him with different goals don't consider so. So there are so many people who come to Krishna for material desires as well as moksha. But these are the different paths not leading to him alone. So the point what we need to understand is, if you are the person who is awarding all the benedictions or the gifts to the people, why all people are not coming to Krishna? Any luck? Why they are not going to Krishna? Because ultimately it is given by Krishna only. Then why they are not going to Krishna? Everything is given by Krishna only, no? Why all the people are not going to Krishna? Any guess? కృష్ణుడి దగ్గరికి ఎందుకు వెళ్ళటం లేదు? చాలా మంది మిగతా దేవతల దగ్గరికి వెళ్తున్నారు, కృష్ణుడి దగ్గరికి ఎందుకు వెళ్ళట్లేదు? Difficult to please him. Okay. Anything else? Immediate result. Yes. But your answer was, Mataji? What was your answer? That is okay. Yeah. Okay, I will take that, but that's not the answer. But I will eventually, I'll come. But we need to understand why people won't go to Krishna is because without purification he won't give any benediction. You go to Lord Shiva, he will give benediction without purification. You go to Brahma, he will give benediction without purification. That's what has happened with Bhasmasura. That's what has happened with Hiranyakashipu. Right? They got benedictions from Brahma and Shiva, right? But eventually without purification they got the benediction. But eventually it has led to, when Bhasmasura, who got the benediction from Lord Shiva, he tried to kill Lord Shiva himself. So that is the problem with giving benediction without purification. Brahma has created a scene, again Lord Vishnu corrected it. Okay, so that is the problem, So we are only after purification I avoid them, so others will not harm, such that others will not harm themselves. For example, Yashasvi left. Yashasvi, which chocolate you like? Yashasvi, which chocolate you like? Dairy milk. Huh? Dad gives or mom gives? Both give. Who is more broader, or who helps you a lot? Who gives more gifts? Daddy, yeah? Okay. Okay. So daddy gives more gifts. So the thing is, even dairy milk, for example, dad gives. Dad might be giving only 1 to 2 dairy milks. But had she had a desire or lust, and she takes 100 rupee note from dad's pocket or mummy's pocket, and she purchases. And with the lust, she will not stop with 1 or 2 dairy milks. She will eat 10 dairy milks. And tomorrow, pannu puchipoyindi, cold, fever and everything will come. So God knows, like dad knows that, okay, you take only 1. So how much she requires, dad knows. Similarly, Lord knows when given a benediction, He knows if I give Him more, He will spoil Himself. That's why He doesn't give benediction without purification. So that's the reason why people generally won't go to Krishna. Because people don't like purification. No. Purify all Even Dhruva Maharaj, a lot of examples are there. Dhruva Maharaj went with a material desire of getting a planet or the kingdom. But later, Krishna has given a benediction after purification. So that he is not spoiling himself. So later, during the process, he comes to know the ultimate reason and all. That's a different thing. So demigods give benediction without purification. Okay? So, path of Gnana and Yoga leading to liberation, but path of Karma. Next question is, Arjuna asks, Krishna, path of Gnana and Yoga leads to liberation, but path of Karma is not leading to it. How impartial it is, and you are telling me to perform Karma. Question clear? Or is the question clear? Path of Gnana and other yoga system is leading to liberation or him, but path of Karma is not leading to you. That's what the question, what Arjuna asked, but path of Karma leading to bondage only, not you. Why? Why he asks? Then for that he says that all of us, are you not showing partiality? Asks. So all your paths should lead to liberation. So Krishna says path of Karma is given for those who have great impurities in them. Path of Karma is given to the people who have great impurities in them. And especially the Grihasthas like us. It might be difficult to digest, but we will accept it. We have having some of the other anarthas in us, right? Or no? Can anyone say that we don't have any anarthas here? I have anarthas. No doubt about it. Anyone there? You can say that I don't have any impurities in me or in us. So karma kanda or the path of karma is given to gradually decrease the impurities. Even karma also, Krishna has given different classes: karma kanda, karma yoga, sakama karma, nishkama karma. Like that, he has given 3 to 4 categories so that gradually we can purify. Similar to the Mark's example, what I have given. So that is only for you yourself to gradually learn to offer the fruits to me. So eventually he wanted whatever the fruits or the work you are doing. There are some people who will be getting attached to the process of work. There are some people who get attached to the process of results. So it is something like, yesterday I was, one devotee requested me. One devotee, he's a India head for Aztec company. India head he is. I think he is going to become chief operating officer also. So he requested me to, Mahesh, can you come and do umpiring? We are doing some cricket tournament here. I started my cricket umpiring almost 6 years back. I used to be umpiring Hyderabad Cricket Association for 2 years. So he requested me to come and do umpiring for his employees. They were having a small tournament. So So I went there. And I did umpiring. And everything was done. So at least I am associating with the devotees. He is a devotee, by the way. He takes a lot of classes here. So he requested me. I don't know why I came to this example. Karma Yoga, yeah, Karma Kanda. For this is applicable for our families, Grahastha Ashrama only. Because no one in the Grahastha Ashrama can say that we are free from impurities. I am sorry to say this. It might be a hard pill to digest, but that is the truth. We are having a lot of attachments. It might be materially, or it might be kids wise, or it might be a lot of things are there. We need to slowly, we should have a detached attachment. We can't promise, we can't have so much faith on kids. At some point or other, kids are going to show the picture. We don't know. Even there is no guarantee that devotees' kids will become devotees. I have personally seen a lot of devotees whose kids are not devotees. Believe me. No one can guarantee. I am not even born a devotee. I am just trying to become a devotee from the last 5 years. Okay. We need to understand this. So Krishna is saying that he created these 4 orders for this categorization based on the guna and karma only. For us only he created these 4 varnas such that based on this guna and karma they can elevate themselves slowly to gnana or purification. Okay, so all living beings have come for certain program, like certain programs. When I say mosquitoes, automatically they get attracted to what? Gutter. Yes or no? Mosquitoes, they will be getting attracted to gutter automatically. Similarly, I have, in my community, I have WhatsApp groups, green grace liquids, green grace cards, green grace TT. So that the like-minded people can come close for that kind of activities. Right? Liquids means drinks. They wanted to have a company while drinking. Masala, kisara, dal ke karna, okay, they like. So similarly, depending on the guna and their karma when I say, depending on their karma of the previous lives, only desire is not enough. The popularity, I have a desire. I also wanted to become a celebrity like you. But will it fulfill? Because I don't have a karma balance in this life to fulfill. Now if you do good karmas, you will take next birth in some superstar family and you might get the same benefit till your karma is there. Good karma is there. Again you have to take birth. But which is a good bid? You wanted to become popular, 3 lives popularity, or you wanted to take no birth at all. People are not even realizing that there is something like this. Okay, so similarly, we can think factions. Movies might be showing that power because their situation is like that. There is no other choice for them. They have to take weapons and kill people. People think like that. Movies are also showing like that only. But we need to understand that each and every living entity who have taken birth in Karnool or whatever the faction, they were having that violent tendency from their previous lives. Our movies will show us hero without weapons and nothing and all, but they will create a scenario wherein hero has to take weapons. But believe me, Prabhuji and Mataji, this is a very subtle topic. This subtle topic, if I tell the same thing in public, they will beat me. But reality is to understand that their violentic, I think there is no word like violence propensity from these previous lives, they were having it. And Krishna is fulfilling it by making them born in their families. He is having a free will to choose to get out of it. And he will provide the opportunity also. Krishna will surely provide an opportunity even if you are taking birth in Uganda. It's not that the ISKCON would be there, only he has to become Krishna consciousness. Any god, even Christianity also is like, people have to mold. Krishna will short give an opportunity for each and being born in India, ample number of opportunities are there for living entities. Yeah. Okay, so that's what he was talking about. All living entities have certain program, and according to their guna and karma, he is allotting the life for each and every living entity. That's what the point he is trying to highlight. So next is Arjuna asks Krishna, you are born in a Kshatriya family. You are born in Kshatriya family and performing a role of a charioteer, and you are born in Kshatriya family and you lived and performed the pastimes in Vaishya family, right? Then will this particular karma will not be applicable for you? That's what Arjuna asks. That's what Arjuna asks. So then Krishna says, I am neither a Kshatriya nor a Vaishya. I am neither a Kshatriya nor a Vaishya, but my body is divine. People, this is the point, Prabhuji said, a lot of people they will not accept. My body is divine. They will not accept. His body is not, we need to understand that his body is not divine. Whatever he has performed, lifting Govardhan Leela, fighting with Kaliya, jumping from almost some 10 kilometers feet mountain, it's not a normal human activities. We need to acknowledge that. And it is not something, ISKCON is probably, any Sampradaya people will say this. Okay, it's not a normal human activities. So he is stressing the same points, and he is stressing the same thing, that my whole range of activities are different, which are not understood by common people. మామూలు జనాలు అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి లేదు. ఇది వాడేది డైలాగ్ ఉంది, మా ప్రేమను అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి మామూలు ప్రేమ కాదు 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 అనేది కూడా అంటాడు, రైట్? సో అలాగా కృష్ణుడు కార్యాలు అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి మామూలు మనుషులకు అర్థం కాదు 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 అని చెప్పాను నేను. Okay, so we need to understand that. So we need to understand, even whatever, despite he has come with from his sweet will to this particular world, he is still a water drop on a lotus leaf kind of a thing he is maintaining, Krishna. Okay, that's what we need to understand. Whatever the thing, he touching Ahalya, become stone, from stone she comes out. So whatever, a lot of pastimes he has performed, and like Putana he killed. And after his lips touched her body part, whole body of her has become fragrant, and he has delivered a demon. Prabhuji said, Mataji, how great he is. So we are having a hope. We are not that demoniac, right? We are not, never had an intention of killing Krishna, hating Krishna, right? At least we are having a hope here. For demon like Putana himself, he delivered, and he has given a mother post in Goloka. It is impossible to imagine, right? Namutunara namatledha? Are you believing or not? Yeah. Okay, so that's the point what he was trying to say. Now, same thing we already discussed. So, Bhasmasura. So, all these activities are same. So, Krishna created the 4 varnas. Krishna work doesn't affect him. So, finally he says that I am not bound by any karma, Arjuna, he says. Having said that, one has to work according to the examples of previous bona fide devotees. Krishna will now explain why one's action should not be independent. So, removing reactions. Now, removing reactions, no one should act independently in life. Like sometimes Arjuna might be going to, he was having a plans of going to forest and begging. But he can't say that, okay, I am going to forest and I will beg Krishna. I think it is my destiny. I think it is my destiny అని చెప్పుకోవడానికి లేదు, ఛాన్సే లేదు. అదేంటంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ నార్మల్ థింగ్. వీ నీడ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దిట్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. Blaming it on destiny is not right. That's what the point we are trying to highlight here. So when it's important to align with the instructions of superiors, and if you are independent, karma will accrue. If you are independent, if you are any work, if you are doing independent of the Lord, you are bringing karma into the picture. And if you are keeping Krishna in the center, whatever the activity you do, it becomes akarma. Okay? So the intricacies of karma are very difficult to understand. Now I will tell a story. Please listen carefully. Very, very carefully. One Brahmana was there. He was chanting in his home, and one cow suddenly enters, and he tries to hide, and there is a butcher behind, and he was looking for a cow. No, so carefully you have to listen, such that I am going to ask one question here. You need to answer it. There are 2 stories in fact. Okay, so cow comes to the Brahman, and she tries to hide, and butcher comes behind and looks for cow. He doesn't see. Then Brahman, the butcher asked Brahman, have you seen the cow? What should Brahman do? What should Brahman do? गेसिंग के लिए पनिशमेंट नहीं है, गेस कर सकते हो. हाँ, what is it? Not seen. Okay, but he's a Brahman. Satyameva jayate. There is the cow, he says, and he takes the cow, kills the cow. Butcher kills the cow. Okay. Now, next life. He is a Brahmana. And he is a young, handsome Brahmana, and who roams around villages to propagate the knowledge of Lord's message. And one time he comes to one hut and he sleeps in the arugu, or I don't know what to say in English, arugu. Okay. He sleeps on that outside the house of that one person, and there is a family inside that house. One husband and wife stays, and wife comes out. Wife comes out and she asks him, and since he is a handsome person, she asks him to enjoy me, and he disagrees. Whatever you are saying, it is very wrong, Mataji. You are having a husband, you are having a good relationship. Please continue your relationship. It's very wrong thing from your side to ask me to come and spend time with you. It's very wrong. Like that he says, and then she goes inside. Any idea what does she do? She goes inside and she kills her husband with a knife. And knife is there in his stomach, and sound comes. Like that, his sound comes. Then immediately that Brahmana person goes inside, and you know what happens? You might have seen a lot of movies, What happens? Lot of movies you might have seen. When that person is removing the knife from the stomach, what happens? Everyone sees. All the villagers see. And he takes him away, and people think that he has done such a bad act of killing a person, and he was looking, and that Brahmana wife says that he tries to enjoy me. He tried to enjoy me, and when my husband was trying to help me, he killed him. That's the wrong abandon what she puts on that Brahman. And people, after listening to all this stuff, since he's a Brahmana, we can't kill him. He cuts his hand. Here, who are these three characters? From the previous lives, these are the three characters. Brahmana is Brahmana only, and the cow is the husband. The cow is the husband which got killed in his previous life. Now he got killed here, and the wife is the butcher. So sometimes Prabhuji and Mataji's karmic reactions is very difficult to understand. నేను ఏం పాపం చేసుకొని వస్తే నేను ఇది చేశానా? There are some, on Supreme Court law, there are some pending cases also there, right? Complex cases which are pending. Now I will tell one pending case. You have to tell me the answer. To whose this karmic reactions will go? Tell me. Thing is, there was one eagle going, and one king was arranging large, Annadanam he was giving to lot of Brahmanas. Annadanam he has arranged for lot of Brahmanas, and some Brahmins were cooking, and on the top, a eagle was taking a dead snake on the top, and from that snake's mouth, 2 drops of poison have fallen into the food what they were preparing, and after serving the food, all the Brahmanas died. All the Brahmanas have died. Now, for that, the death of that Brahmanas, whom it has to credit? Negative sin, right? To whom it has to get credited? It is a Supreme Court pending case. King. No. Why king? King never, he didn't had any, he was in fact having a good intention of serving Brahmanas. No, not king.
Even though
It is kind of a natural calamity kind of thing. No one can be blamed.
Okay. Okay. I will come to that. Yeah. చెప్పండి రోజు.
ఆయన ఇంటెన్షన్ గుడ్డే కానీ వాయిస్ ఇది ఫీడ్ చేశారు కాబట్టి ఆయనకే మంచి.
But the thing is wrong. The thing is, after this case was pending for some time, and after a couple of days, some more Brahmanas have come. Some more Brahmanas have come to the village, and one villager asked, where this Annadana Satram is done, there can you please tell us? One villager said, oh, you are going to Annadana Satram? Last time, we went to, all the Brahmanas were killed and king did that. This is wrong blaming, he did it on king. That guy got the negative side. Because without knowing how someone, that's what Prabhuji Mataji is, this particular, dual talk without knowing is very wrong. Very wrong actually. That's how sin, actually that sin, all this sin goes to that villager who has wrongly blamed king for that act. And what is the actual word? Sanskrit word for that? Slogam is there. About atyahara prayasascha prajalpa. This is called prajalpa. Without knowing anything about someone, how you can blame? So that entire negative sin has gone to that villager. Okay, we need to understand that. Okay, so so basic point of saying all this is, this karmic reactions are very complex. Don't try to know, నేను ఇది చేస్తే నాకు ఏమవుతుంది, నాకు అది చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది. We don't have that much time. In this human body, we are not bodies from Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga or Treta Yuga, where the people used to live for 1 lakh years, 1000 years, 100 years. So 10 lakh years, 1 lakh year, 1 lakh year, 10,000 years, 1000 years. Now Kali Yuga at the max 100 years. 100 years also in the beginning of Kali Yuga. Now 70, 80 itself fasak. So we need to understand that. So we don't try to understand. Try to know. We need to know about God. Okay. So how complex is karma? Already we have seen that, and the same thing he was trying to highlight, that we need to understand all this stuff in a proper. One who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among the men. I was quoting the same example of Janaka Maharaj, where externally he might be seeing the things which are performed by even other kings, but internally he was already realized, already liberated. So we need to build that consciousness, and the Krishna's message is only for our grahasthas, not for brahmacharis or sannyasis. We need to understand that. So that's what he was talking about. One who sees inaction in inaction and action in inaction is intelligent among the men. That's what the point he is trying. Working on own's account and working on God's account. We need to understand. Similar to the bank employee who work, though he's in bank, but whatever the money he is giving is not his own. On the bank's account, he is doing it. Similarly, we have to be in the plan of God. And if you say, how I will know, Prabhuji, if I wanted to be included in God's plan? Do you think we can't be included in the God's plans? There is each and every possibility. Lakshmi Prasanna Mataji is there. She has donated one Bhagavatam set. Opportunity is there, Prabhu. It's up to us. Krishna don't need me or we to perform his action. He knows his own channels. But we should be thankful that he is giving an opportunity. Prabhuji, last year I donated, Prabhu. So this time I can't donate. So Krishna is not. Okay, last year I given a lot of promotions and this thing. This year I will not give. Will you be happy? And this is the mostly coming answer. I'm not offending anyone, but we need to understand. If financial situation is not there, we can understand. Anyway, it's not a promotional activity for Bhagavatam and all, but we need to understand what does he mean. Working on one's account and working on God's account. We have to. It's our effort to be in God's plan. There are so many Matajis in aliens community. Prabhuji, Himanshu Prabhu was earlier there in alien space station community. There a lot of Matajis, they go together to perform services in Tirumala. what is it they are going to get? They will be staying there for 3 to 4 days and perform some of the other services and come back. All the Matajis they go in aliens. Okay? So a soldier killing people in army is awarded a Paramvir Chakra, but if he kills a neighbor, immediately put in jail. So we need to understand that. So Arjuna fighting for Dharma Yuddha on behalf of God, Duryodhana fighting for his own selfish plan. So like that, a lot of examples are there. I don't want to dwell much here in the interest of time. So that's the science of karma. We make our own destiny by our karma. Destiny determines, kindly understand this statement. Destiny determines the consequences of our actions, not our actions themselves. Due to your past karmas, you might be getting a handsome body, you might be getting a good education, but whatever the wealth you gained, how you spend is depending on you. It's not your destiny. డబ్బు నాకు బాగా వచ్చింది, నేను చెత్త విషయాలు పెడతాను, అది నా డెస్టినీ ఏమోలే అనడానికి లేదు. ద చాయిస్ ఇస్ స్టిల్ దేర్ విత్ యూ. Vidura said, destiny ఏమోలే, I think it is destiny that the war has to happen. Let it happen, it is my destiny. No, he can't say that. Still it is there in his hand to stop that war. That's what the point. That point is very clear. We need to contemplate on this point. Destiny determines the consequences of our actions, not our actions themselves. Ante idi. Any questions on this, Prabhuji Mataji? It's very delicate statement where lot of PhD holders, knowledgeable people materially also quote the same thing. Destiny emole, and they will not act. Okay, so it is a situation of the Dhritarashtra caught between Duryodhana and Vidura, where he brings up this point. So that's what the point he was trying to insist. So good karma, good punya in the past will not allow you to do all the unnecessary stuff. So you can't blame the destiny. So, but Krishna is trying to say, that I can guide you, Arjuna, but still the bow and arrow you need to shoot. I will do. It's not that he will do, right? Action you have to perform. Exam lo కష్టపడేంత వరకు కష్టపడాల్సిన బాధ్యత మీదే. Result you leave it. There are so many people, though you might have seen in your own close quarters, you might have seen from your childhood, you might have seen lot of people, those who might be doing lot of hard work, but they will not get good marks. But there are some people who will not do hard work, they will get good marks. Right? Have you seen? I have seen. I am a live example. I didn't used to study, but luckily I got 100% marks in mathematics. I was school topper, college topper. It's not my boasting, but it is Krishna's blessing that somehow he has brought me till this situation. Sometimes my friends, they tease me. ఏం చేస్తారు, ఏం తింటావురా నువ్వు, నీకు ఇలా వస్తాయి. And before September or October supplementary exams will be there. There will be a batch of around 10 to 12 of my friends sitting. I also have to do night outing with them to pass them. So you can't blame the destiny here. So that's what Krishna was trying to point out. So science of karmavad, I don't want to dwell much here. So karmavad is everything is in my hand. మొత్తం నాదే, నేనే ఇప్పుడు ఏం సంథింగ్ పిహెచ్డీ చేస్తే ఐ ఓన్లీ డిడ్, నా స్వయం కృషితో నేను పైకి వచ్చాను రా బాబు. దేవుడు గుర్తురాడు. పొరపాటు నెగిటివ్ జరిగితే, సంథింగ్ బ్యాడ్ హ్యాపెన్స్, దెన్ దే విల్ రెడీ టు బ్లేమ్ గాడ్. ఇఫ్ ఎనీథింగ్ గుడ్ హ్యాపెన్స్, నా తొడగొట్టి చెప్తున్నా. ఓకే, సో ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ ఇన్ మై హ్యాండ్. అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ ద దైవాద్ ఆల్సో. రాంగ్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ దైవవాద్ ఈజ్ సిమిలర్ టు ధృతరాష్ట్ర. Destiny, I will not do anything, I think it's destiny. But correct understanding of Daivavad is, we have to give our best. There are situations where people have given best, but still bad happens. You need to accept it. But there should not be any regret that I didn't give my best. That is the correct understanding of Daivavad. It's very less time, Prabhuji and Mataji, we need to contemplate on what I am saying here. Correct understanding of Daivavad and wrong understanding of Daivavad. Don't blame destiny. You give your best. Then even if a negative happens, accept it as the will of God. He is doing it for your purification only. Believe me, the purification term might be appearing very preachy, but there are a lot of practical examples which we can give. Okay, so inaction, inaction, symptoms of detached worker. I think already we have discussed. So we need to understand that each and every act, it should be treated as a yajna. For example, if your arrows are samida, when what do you say in English? Samida, you know, right? In the yajna kund we put oil. That is samida. We say. So that is ahuti. Ahuti we will say. So your arrows are ahutis and soldiers' chests are yajna kund. So you need to treat each and every activity in our daily life as a yajna or a sacrifice. Very delicate statement. Now, man's semen is a ahuti. Man's semen is a ahuti and woman's womb is a yajna kund. Even the act of coming together is also act which you are performing for the Lord to beget good God conscious children. Brahmacharis, ears are yajna kund, and the knowledge Shravanam Kirtanam which is happening now is ahuti, and the realization what you would get is a yajna phal. Similar to the semen and womb example, their child is a yajna phala. So for each and every activity, when we think about this, మీరు చేసే ఏ యాక్టివిటీ అయినా సరే we can correlate with the sacrifice what we are doing for God. With that consciousness we should have. Am I clear, Prabhuji and Mataji? Please ask any questions if you have. Please. Any questions? So this is what he was talking about. This section describes the qualities of a person who in the state of inaction, akarma. Here inaction means not work, not doing work, not doing work. It is inaction means akarma, means performing the activities by keeping Lord in the center. His knowledge, jnana burns upon his action, stage of practice, sadhana, stage of perfection. That's what if one should perform actions for the purpose of yajna, what types of yajnas are there? That is our next chapter, next lesson. Yajna in spiritual consciousness leads to spiritual goal. So whatever the activity we do, it leads to our spiritual goal, nearest to our spiritual goal. Having explained this, that sacrifice uncovers Brahman, Krishna now lists different types of sacrifices. So this is the last lesson of this chapter, that is sacrifice, where he talks about what are the different kinds of sacrifice we have. So I don't want to get into each and every sacrifice here. Demigod worship, karma yogis worship demigods by different sacrifices. There are some yogis or karma yogis who perform, for some material benefit they perform demigod worship. Brahman, jnana yogis, Brahman worship. So similarly, dravya yajna gives grains. There is a dravya yajna. I don't know whether it is there here or not. There is something called dravya yajna, which is the yajna to perform to get the grains out of the harvest. For that also we do yajna. Okay. Similarly, for mind control, brahmacharis offer senses in the fire of mind control. So tapo yajna, like Dhruva Maharaj has gone to forest for doing tapo yajna, mind control. So somebody might say, why should, there is a possibility that somebody might say, why oceans water which is there in oceans have to go up, go to the clouds and again transfer to the other location and there come as a rains. There is a possibility, people can say, right? Why simply we can take a bucket of water in the ocean and drink? No. Why? Why? Salty, yes. Because it is salty, and if you drink salt water, it will not quench your thirst, right? So similarly, whatever we are drinking water directly, and similarly, if you directly take salary, and without offering, there is no possibility of purification for you. When you take salary, think, when you give a chocolate to your kid, anyhow, the chocolate is given by you only to the kid, but in that chocolate, one piece if she gives you, how happy you feel? Yes or no? You might have come across that situation with your kids, right? Yes or no? Chocolate you are only giving, and in the dairy milk chocolate there will be 8 or 10 pieces, I believe. In that 8 or 10 pieces, one piece with lovely hands and delicate hands, if she comes and gives it to you, how happy you feel, right? But rest of the 8, 9 you will only eat. So for Lord also, It's not that if you are not giving, Lord will not be. Lord is Atmaram, He is self-sufficient. Okay, but it even improve the restraint in us. For example, my dad, when I was in 5th or 6th class, he has. I was chasing him to purchase a Hero Ranger cycle. Way back in 1989 or 90, Hero Ranger cycle. How many of you remember that Hero Ranger cycle? Which has a very fat tires, fat tires it used to have. And my dad used to say, don't take that, take a BSA SLR, which are very thin tired one. It will go fast. If you are cycling the Hero Ranger, it will lot of effort is needed, and you will get lot of pain on the legs, in the legs. So, but I never. Hero Ranger means hero getting on the Hero Ranger. That's the feeling what we used to carry. So luckily he obliged my demands and purchased the Hero Ranger. But later I realized that dad was right. But it has, after 6 months of continuous struggle from me, he given me Hero Ranger cycle. So like that, when we offer to the Lord or do sacrifice, it increases restraint in us. We are teaching restraint in kids. These days parents, whatever they ask, they feel that I am taking care of my kids very well. But these days kids, they are impatient. Have you noticed that? They are impatient. Anything they want, immediately they want. And parents also, immediately they giving means, as a parent, I without any trouble, I performed my parents' duty. Immediately asked, I given it. That is the impression what people are carrying. There is no restraint activity. We are teaching kids impatience for childhood itself. Purpose of sacrifices. All sinful reactions are destroyed. All sinful reactions are destroyed. Without sacrifice, one can never live happily in this life or next. Thus, many types of sacrifices are there. Yagnas culminate in jnana. So, conclusion, method, results and glories of attaining jnana. Mental speculation or dry arguments or independent study of books cannot help one attain perfect knowledge. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master, Guru. Prabhuji and Mataji's Guru word has become a fashion in the materialistic circles also these days. Page 3 circles also. Oh yeah, I have a Guru, No. Guru is a very, very great term, and we need to understand the sincerity or the need or the intensity of having a Guru. We need to understand the correct purpose of having a Guru. Okay. So that restraint, when I was taking an example of my cycle, even, everyone knows Srila Prabhupada, right? Everyone knows Srila Prabhupada? Yes or no? Yes. Who? Tell me the Srila Prabhupada's Guru's name. Srila Prabhupada's Guru's name. Any guesses? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Okay, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati is the Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Once in his childhood, his dad scolded him, saying that how can you eat mango without offering to the Lord? Without offering to the Lord, how can you eat mango? Then for his entire life he didn't touch mango itself, because he felt he performed a sin. Okay. So like this, we are having results and glories of jnana, no bewilderment, bestows pure vision. When we have this knowledge, it gives a pure vision. We should take the support of the sacrifices or the knowledge of scriptures, because it will slowly purify your mirror. Mind mirror is completely polluted. How many of you have milk? If you are boiling milk for 1 hour, what will happen? Mataji should tell me. If you are boiling milk for 1 hour, what will happen? Only ash will be there. Okay, only black thing will be there, right? Yes or no? 1 hour. I think 1 hour, 2 hours let us take, because 1 hour my Prashanti keeps only in sin. So if you are sin 1 hour, nothing will happen. But if you are keeping it for 2 to 3 years, then it will become ash. And that ash also not normal ash. Ash is not coming, will come easily. But this ash is sticked ash. Right? So for removing that ash, or I don't know, I am not finding the correct term for that. All the blackish stuff would be attracted to the vessel. How will you remove it? What effort should be going in that to remove it? Tell me. Huh? One, tell me. One. Soak. One is soaking. Next. Mental pain, okay. Third. Metallic brushing required. Yes, scrubber, metallic scrubber. Third, fourth.
Lot of effort to push.
Push, okay. Anyway, some people use even lemon water to scrub it. Some people use coconut outer hair to scrub it. Metal scrub. So like that, after performing 3 to 4 acts, probably there is a possibility of getting clean, right? Similarly, with our kind of anarthas which we are coming from the past lives, we are having lot of ashes in the mirror, so we are not able to see the Paramatma within. So these scriptures help us in cleaning. Scriptures, our metallic scrubbers are scriptures. Our soaking is Shravanam, hearing from the devotees. And another what you told, coconut scrubber or water ring or Vimbar is associating with the devotees. Unless you are associating with the devotees, people can't think, right? When actually, as I think I mentioned you, my elder one blames Prashanti, my wife, saying that why mom you don't go to kitty parties anytime? Why you don't prefer going to kitty parties? No, kitty parties you will have fun, Why can't you go to kitty parties? But kitty parties, I have kitty parties only ladies go. But I came to know from my classmates, BTech classmates, couple of ladies are there, my friends, Shilpa, Pratima, Sarita and all. They say kitty parties nice. They will have kitty after going to kitty parties. Hey, Sita ne, yala pettukunda chandala ne asla tante ekku time spent. They will not have a good time. But in our society, all the Mataji, yesterday last week they had a Sakhi Sangha. All the Matajis only they come together. They performed dances, kirtans, they were hearing from the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, lady disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So they almost day long they performed dramas, skits, dances, time. They had a good prasadam. They had a fun-filled activity. Probably I will post that video in the group. You can see only ladies are having good time. No, nothing, no complaints, nothing. Everyone are enjoying by keeping Krishna in the center. You ask the Matajis who are there, Lakshmi Mataji is also there, like they spend, we need to make a conscious effort and see you will be finding fun in our spiritual life also. I was completely a pakka materialistic guy earlier, before 5 years, spending every Saturday, Sunday, cricket tournament. I am a captain of my department, so we used to go to a cricket tournament. I used to see every week one movie, every week, and I used to forcefully take her. Even though she doesn't like movies, I used to take her to the movies. And I used to hate her because those who can't enjoy movies by taking her, it's simply a burden, right? Simply sitting like this. It is a burden. We can't enjoy, right? That's why we like-minded people, if we go, it will like that. So these are the different ways how you can enjoy spiritual life. We are having ask Sunil Prabhuji and Sanjay Prabhuji. We every Sunday we go. After 3 p.m. we have Mridanga class. Mridanga class we have again 4 to 5. Our kids we are having a separate session for the kids, imparting the material knowledge also. PPT presentations, how to learn, how to time management, how to do time management, and all this. They are kids of around 7 years to 19 years. Kids. So, we need to understand the spiritual life is also very enjoyable. So many people are having a impression, devotees means, devotees means, bomb, mad people. Only there are only two mad people. One are in asylum, mental asylum, others are devotees only. Okay. Yeah, so purest. Krishna has said, Arjuna may think, how long will it take? Will it take many lifetimes? Acharya is saying it takes one moment to become purified. But are we having faith? We have to start with chanting. As I mentioned, while counting notes, there is utter concentration, right? Mind will not go anywhere. Can you have that much concentration while you are chanting? You need to aspire for that. Okay? Who can attain jnana? How many of you know Narada's previous life? He was a Dasi Putra. By getting the association of Bhakti Vedantas, and knowing the knowledge. Even a Dasi Putra has become a Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa. Dasi Putra, what about us? Are we not thinking it's a hope-giving statements? Okay. So that's what. So reactions, free work, and rise and fight. So anyway, this we will continue in the next chapter. So this is a conflict point which we will try to discuss in the 5th chapter. That is also the topic is Karma Yoga. But Karma Yoga, 3rd chapter is also Karma Yoga. 5th chapter also is Karma Yoga. But it is elaborately explained to get perennially, perpetually penetrate into the mind of Arjuna. Okay, that's what about Karma Yoga he talks about in the 5th chapter. Okay, we are done. What about any questions, anyone?
How can a person grow in spiritual path?
Mataji, as I mentioned, you have to take the initiative lies with you, Mataji, and you have to start with chanting, Mataji. Our acharyas explain every day you need to do minimum of 16 rounds, not exactly 16 rounds, minimum of 16 rounds. Okay, 16 rounds of chanting. Of course, there are devotees who even while chanting, a lot of things go around in the mind, but still we need to try. That is number one.
Sometimes I'm trying, sometimes I'm not able to concentrate.
Mataji, actually I am thinking next time what I will do, we need to do it in association also, Mataji. For example, every Ekadasi, the next time onwards I will come here and chant. Every Ekadasi, what I will do is, earlier we used to do that, I just speak about myself. Every Ekadasi, we, like this room only, I come and chant. We come and chant. Myself, Sunil Prabhu would be there, Sanjay Prabhu would be there. But Shruti Mataji also used to come. So we can chant. We need, Mataji, in spiritual life, Mataji, we need to inspire each other, Mataji. There's no, individually going is very difficult, Mataji. Individually going is very, very difficult. In material life, in material corporate culture, we have to grow by surpassing one another. We have to grow. Okay, we have to show less and we have to grow above, take the credit and go above. But in spiritual life, Mataji, we have to go together. We have to inspire each other. And anyway, Mataji, for example, chanting, you are struggling. There might be some Prabhuji and Mataji who sing well. My voice is like a donkey. So I can't sing well. So then I will take the shelter of Mataji koncham, talam, ragam koncham, please tell me, I will try to sing and I will take the association. So similarly, sometimes in Mridanga, one Mataji was there, Padma Mataji, she plays very well, Mridanga. So we try to learn from her also. So association, Mataji, spiritual life, without association, individual, because we are not Paramahamsas or great elevated devotees, Mataji, that individually we can grow in spiritual life. It's very difficult. We have to take, somehow we need to form circuits. That's how Gachibowli Satsanga, if you see in Gachibowli Satsanga or Bhakti team, almost all are material, because a lot of people only if we tell material qualifications, then only they will have weightage. And some are country heads. Subara Prabhuji is a country head, Satya Prabhu is a country head. Praveen Prabhu is one of the 20 years, he is a vertical head in Microsoft. That Mataji also spent 19 years in Microsoft. She is in Salesforce right now. Like that, Sunil Prabhu is a HR head in his department, in his company. So like that, like-minded people or like-minded background, when they come together, there is a possibility, one thing or the other, you can get inspiration from. And there is no fight here. Okay, he is taking, this time he has Bhagavatam sets, lot of Bhagavatam sets he has donated. This time I will donate. That grudge is not there. We do it as a service to Krishna. We do it as a service to please Guru. We do it as a service to please the senses of Lord Krishna. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. There's no negative this thing. But in material thing, any activity without Krishna, there is a possibility of this thing coming up. But we are chanting, you are really struggling. You can probably, Prabhuji also chanting in the morning. You both can come in the morning and chant together. Or some Matajis are there, let us chant together. We have to inspire each other, Mataji. There is no other go. Scriptures we need to read, at least one shloka in a day. And doubts would be there. You need to ask. At least you are having a platform, right? If you ask the same questions, what is the goal of life? Goal of life is to not to take the rebirth. If I tell outside, in the Vihanga community, rebirth. Unnadi vakate jindagi bhai, enjoy cheyra mama. Slowly, Mataji. Shravana Vini, if you hear from lot of gurus, you will be attracted to one particular guru. You have to hear. Actually, today only I came to know from Soma Mataji saying that her father is an initiated devotee from Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj. Okay, like that, there are a lot of Maharajas in the society. So you need to hear from multiple Maharajas. After hearing from multiple Maharajas, you will be getting attracted to one particular specific Guru. Then you need to Guru. Then, and for coming to this preaching, we need to continuously chant for 2 years. Then only we will be eligible. Our Guru will be monitoring. And I am aspiring for initiation. Myself, I am aspiring for initiation also. So Krishna willing, it might happen anytime sooner this year. I don't know, but you need to have spiritual goals, Mataji. It's not only material goals. Spiritually also, we are having one story is there of one Prabhuji. He has taken initiation, but he was fighting for getting double initiation. Double initiation means Brahmana initiation, where they will be getting an eligibility for touching the deities in the temple. We are not having eligibility for. First one-time initiated devotees won't be having a eligibility for touching the deities. Second-time initiated devotees would be having eligibility to touch the deities and beautify or do beautification of the temple decoration and all that. They will be eligible. So like that, you should have spiritual goals. Actually, Giriraj Prabhu, who is working in Salesforce, he is at ISKCON Abid's temple priest. He is working in Salesforce. So like that, we should at least associate with the like-minded people, Mataji. See, simple concept, Mataji. If your kid is there, if you wanted to make him a cricketer, obviously you will try to associate him with the cricket coaches or cricket academies or cricket players and try to meet with them so that they will get inspiration, right? Same thing. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, Mataji. Any other questions? No questions?
One question.
Yeah.
In the example you gave where the vulture was carrying the poisonous snake and all the
Yes.
So this situation has occurred only because of some past karmas of the Brahmins or whatever is the situation from their previous lives. But in this life they might have been chanting and they have been doing a lot of service to the God. Then how would that see? So are you saying that nobody can escape karma or?
Mataji, in that case, Mataji, see, there is a possibility all the Brahma, though for externally materialistic eyes when we see, they are killed by that poison. But who knows, Lord might have delivered every one of them. There's no next birth itself they might have not have taken. Right? Yeah. But these are, that's why Mataji, karma is very subtle thing. What can I say? Now shall I tell you one more thing? You were 7 generations above. మీ తాతయ్య గారి మామయ్య గారి మనవాడి కొడుకి మనవడు వాడు మర్డర్ చేస్తే వాడి కర్మ మీకు కూడా వస్తుంట తెలుసా మీకు? డూ యూ నో? ఎస్, ఇట్ ఈస్ రైట్, బట్ ఇట్ is very difficult, Mataji, very difficult to, but that is true. 7 generations think someone committed crime, that for some portion of karma will be getting to you also. And PM is doing a scam. PM has done a scam and he got into a jail for that act. All the citizens also will be getting karma. Yes, equally everyone, because everyone will be getting karma. So our goal here is not to understand వాడు ఇది చేస్తే నాకేంటి, నేను ఇది చేస్తే నాకు భవిష్యత్తులో, దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ద గోల్ ఫర్ అస్. అవర్ గోల్ ఈజ్ హౌ టు గో బ్యాక్ హోమ్, బ్యాక్ టు గాడ్ హెడ్. ఎన్ని జన్మలు ఎత్తామని కాదన్నయ్యా, ఈ జన్మలో మనం వెళ్ళామా లేదా అనేది ముఖ్యం. పాయింట్ అది. దెర్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ పీపుల్, సో మెనీ డివోటీస్ హూ ఆర్ నాట్ మెటీరియల్లీ not well qualified or materially not in a good positions, but they are very clear about the goal. They are watchmen, security watchmen in company, they are getting meager salary. There are one auto wala is there, the devotee is there, he performs once in a week Radhayatra in his community. Our Leela Prabhu used to say about it. I mean, their life is very simple. మన goal అది simple living, simple thing like that. But I know our peer pressure is like that. మన parents అంటే that's how they have grown up. డబ్బు ఉంటేనే రా మామ, డబ్బు ఉంటేనే మనకు ఎంత డబ్బు, నో మనీ నో హనీ. దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్స్ బీన్ టాట్ మోస్ట్లీ. సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్. But coming to your question, Mataji, but that for that act there is a reaction, but the reaction, it has gone to that person who has done a prajalpa. Prajalpa means any double talk without knowing the facts. Kani, you can talk negatively about a person, but you should take a responsibility. Now if I'm talking something negative about someone, if I'm taking a responsibility to correct him, then you are having eligibility to talk negative about him. Like parents are there. మా వాడు ఉన్నాడు, వాడు లాస్ట్ మినిట్లో చదువుతాడు, వాడు దరిద్రుడా ఏంట్రా ఇదిరా అని తిడతాను. కానీ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ ఐ ట్రై టు ప్రొవైడ్ ద నెసరీ ట్యూషనము, లేకపోతే చెప్పటము, కూర్చొని శాంతిని కూర్చోబెట్టి చెప్పడం, ఐ విల్ టెల్ దెమ్, ఐ విల్ అసిస్ట్ హిమ్, బికాస్ ఐ టేక్ ద రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ కరెక్టింగ్ హిమ్, సో ఐ హ్యావ్ రైట్ టు స్కోల్డ్ ఆల్సో. It's similar to everyone mother. Without knowing anyone, we should not unnecessarily. It's a prajalpa. It's a sin again. Yeah. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay. We are good. Then we'll go ahead with. Let me stop the recording.